Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited to tell you that I just got paid from Alpha Capital Group. If you've been following me, you know that I used to trade with HFT PropFirm such as Nova Funding, Cortana and stuff, but most of the HFT PropFirm out there, they are actually not reliable and they don't really like when you make a lot of money. So from that, I'm like, okay, let me go for normal PropFirm. So I decided to go for Alpha Capital and some couple others PropFirm. And then eventually I got two accounts with Alpha Capital, 250k, and I already passed phase 1, phase 2 in 2 weeks, which I already made videos on it. If you are interested to know how I did to pass phase 1 and phase 2 within 2 weeks, you can also check the video link below. So after that, I went to the live account, and from the live account, as I got 250k, I traded the first 50k, which I made 10% on the account side, which was 5,000, and after profit split of 80%, they actually got to pay me the $4,000, which is the 80% of the 10% I made, which is really good. If you would ask me how did my experience go with them, I really think that they are really really good PropFirm. I didn't really have any issue with them. Dashboard, everything is smooth. Like they have MT5. I don't really know if they have MT4. I'm only interested in MT5. They do have MT5, and then everything is just perfect. You pass your phase 1 within 3 days. Do you have 3 minimum trading days? You pass phase 1 and then you go to your phase 2. You pass phase 2, you do your KYC, and then you trade for 2 weeks, which is really nice because some PropFirm out there, the first withdrawal, they want you to trade for a full month, but with Alpha Capital, you can only trade for 2 weeks with 5 minimum trading days, and then you get your payout. So that's how I did. And then within 1 month, I passed phase 1, passed phase 2, and then traded my live account for 2 weeks. And then I requested payout. I requested a payout on Monday, and then I got it by Wednesday, 31st Wednesday. So it took about 3 days to get the payout, which I mean is really okay compared to most of this HFT PropFirm out there, which they will delay your payout for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and just for no reason. So I really think that Alpha Capital, they are really good. So far with them, everything's okay. And then I also have another account with them. Remember I said I got 2 accounts, okay, 250k. So I only traded one of the 50k, which I already got a payout. So now I'm trading the other 50k, which already today I took some wins, like I made some money. I'm currently up 3%, and I have payout in 2 weeks. So the 3% I think is already enough for this account. So I'm gonna wait after 2 weeks to request for the payout, and then let's see how that goes as well. But so far, as I said, they are really good PropFirm. I don't really have any issue with them. And one thing that you may ask me is, okay, how did you do to pass phase 1, pass phase 2, and make money on the live account so easily within a month? Well, you have to trust your strategy, okay? And you have to trust your mindset as well. As I already made a video before, when you want to get funded with the company, first you have to learn the skill. If you know how to trade, then just go for the funded account. If you don't know how to trade, first learn how to trade. If you don't know how to trade, as I said, I already have a course. You can check the link below. You join the mentorship, you learn how to trade, and then you start trading with PropFirms and then get payout. So if you know how to trade now, the next thing is your mindset, how you manage your trade and how you are less emotional attached to that account. The less emotional attached you are with the account, the better it is, because when you are too attached to the account, you are afraid to take setups, or you just partial way too early because you think you are missing out on profit or whatever. So if you let's say look at some of the trades I took, most of the time I don't partial my trade, like I let it to run full TP. If you take a setup 10R, okay, let's say if you take a setup 10R, and 10R, if you risk 1%, you are supposed to make 10%. But if you partial, let's say at 2R or 3R, at full TP, you can never make 10%. Maybe highest, you may make maybe 3% or 2%. And then later you take 2 or 3 losses on a row, and then you are now back into drawdown or break even. So it's really important when you take your setup, you have to manage really well, which is really important. So if you can work on your mindset and then you already have the skill, I really think that you shouldn't really have any issue trading with PropFirms. And then, as I said, I made 3% today on the setup I took on gold. I sold gold and I made 3%. So let's get into my chart and I show you guys exactly how I did it. And I really hope that it will help you guys as well. Welcome to my screen. So this was the setup I took today on my funded account with Alpha Capital, the second 50k I have. So I took a sell at the New York session gold. So I'm gonna break down how I got the sell, And I think we had NFP today too, but I haven't traded NFP. The reason why I did not trade NFP is because Alpha Capital does not allow you to trade high impact news. At least you should not open or close position within 2 minutes before and after news. So that's the reason why I wanted to have a win or a loss, whatever it is, before the high impact news. So here, if I delete this thing out, let me go to let's see, let me go somewhere to the higher time frame to show you guys exactly the reason why I was looking to buy this thing or sell this thing to the downside. If you are still watching this video, that means that you are interested into this content, so make sure you drop a like below. It will help the video to push out for more audience, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel below. It will help me to grow the downside. So when I zoom in here, what do I have? We can see that let's say from this zone, right, we can see that this Asia and then London from this high. We can see that London already took this high, okay, or let's say before London price took the high. So every single time when I trade, I know that, let's say this is the market structure. If you have a high and then price break it, then there is a reason for price to give me a pullback. So my setup was just a pullback. If it wasn't a pullback, I could have maybe held it until I done some TP on the higher time frame. But the reason why I just had some small TP somewhere in there here is because I just wanted to sell the pullback. So as I'm selling the pullback, I can target maybe this internal liquidity as my TP, okay, or I can also target the PY here as my TP, you know, this, because I know that price will eventually give me a pullback to take liquidity or mitigate another block. So my TP can be any of this, but again, if my TP on based on analysis says that it should be somewhere here as TP, but if my risk reward, if I'm looking for, let's say 3%, I risk 1% and 3R before the TP on my analysis, then I think that should be okay. So two. So let's say if I sell here and then price come here and I made enough profit already, I can just close my setup. And remember, I do not want to hold my setup until the NFP, so I close it like 30 minutes before NFP, so I don't have any issue. So on the higher time frame already, you know that I got a reason to sell this thing to the downside, okay. I got a reason to sell this thing to the downside. So now when I zoom in, what do I see? We have, this is a New York open. So before New York open, on the higher time frame, you already know that I look for a liquidity grab and then it sells it, alright. Remember that price took a high and then I'm looking to sell, but the sell has a pullback. The same way I want to do on the lower time frame. If I go to the lower time frame, I'm gonna look for a liquidity grab and then a reversal as well. You can see that price gave us this high here and then it came, it took it out. So if I put a line here, you see what price did? Price came, it took this high and then it gave a sell. And the way price took this high, it still looks more like equal highs, okay, it looks more like equal highs. But if I continue, after that liquidity grab, you expected price to break structure to the downside, so this would have been like a change of character to the downside I could have had, and then you would just wait for price to give you a pullback to maybe some extreme PY here for a sell setup. But again, the reason why I did not want to sell here is because price created almost like equal highs. I know it's a liquidity grab, but it's still like, it looks like equal highs to me. So that is the main reason why I did not want to sell here. I'm like, okay, cool, if I want to sell, I'm gonna look for re-entries. And from there, I waited for price, it came, it mitigated, and then it gave a sell. So from this sell here, we can see that price dropped and then it broke this guy, and after breaking this guy, we have this breakout block here, okay, we have this breakout block here, that price came, mitigated, and gave a sell. So my sell setup was pretty much exactly from that breakout block, okay. I have a sell somewhere here, and then my TP was somewhere at this low, and then my stop loss was somewhere here. I had this setup for like 3R, so my stop loss was somewhere here. The reason why I had like a safer stop loss instead of having a stop loss here, first look how this pullback did. It gave a pullback here, and then all of this maybe even spread could have waked me out. Even if I have a raw spread account, there could be a reason for price to take me out. So I always want to have like a safer stop loss, so that's why I had this space, because I think even this is like a breaker block as well. We have another breaker block here, so there's more reason for price to even, or there are at least some reason for price to give us like a pullback a bit higher. So that was my sell. My TP was pretty much 3R. I just needed 3R. There was like nothing for me to target. If I would target something, would definitely come from this sort of equal lows here, or this sort of trend line. I can't connect here, but we have this sort of trend line here. So let me try to do this. So this could have been a TP2, but As I said, I did not want to hold my setup until NFP. I don't want to deal with high impact news, so that's why I had to like close. And if you look at the what do you call it, if you want to look at the time I closed, which was pretty much somewhere around this zone, and then I extended here, you can see that this was like 1 hour before news. So I don't want to be caught into a situation where I'm in a setup on my live account while there is a high impact news, and me knowing that I shouldn't be trading high impact news. So it's really important for you guys to understand that. So I think that would be pretty much it. This was the setup I took, and then it helped me to make 3% on the account. If I held a bit longer, maybe I would have made 5%, or yeah, I would have easily made 5%, but still because of the high impact news, I didn't want to deal with anything like that. So so I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna wait for 2 weeks to request for payout. 3%, 80% split. That would be what, maybe 1k payout. Not much, but at least this is 3%, so 3% is okay. And apart from that, I also got another my other 50k after payout, which I'm also going to trade on Monday. So hopefully I make some money on that too. And then hopefully in 2 weeks I may have 2 payouts with Alpha Capital. So I think that's pretty much it. So if you guys interested into learning my style, like the strategy I use here, you can always check the link below this video. You'll have access to my course. And then if you are enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and see you guys on the next video.